Blerd Assassin, Counter Thoughts, Star Day, 110521. Now I know I've taken some time off. I've been, dealing with some personal issues, but I wanted to touch base this Friday regarding some fights going on this week. As you know, I'm a huge fight fan, so I'm going to be previewing, at a minimum, UFC 268. Now, for any fight fans, and especially mixed martial arts fans or anybody, toeing the line on whether or not it's worthy of being a sport, this is a great card to tune into. UFC has not disappointed during this COVID outbreak and during the shutdown. They've continued to crank out fights and fight cards, and in my opinion, this is gearing up to be one of the most exciting fight cards of this year. Now, the main event, the card itself, is headlined by a rematch against with Kamaru Usman, the welterweight champ, 170, facing off against his rival, Colby Covington. Now, as I say, this is a rematch from 2020, I believe. That saw, a lot of controversy. Controversy being brought by the man Colby Covington. Now, Colby Covington, if you don't know him, you at least know the theory of fighting in which either they're going to tune in to see you lose or tune in to see you win. Ali played this. Ali created this blueprint, and there's been a lot of fighters running with this, and Colby is the latest in the UFC. He is a Trumpanzee to the fullest. Now, he's taken off the MAGA hat, but he's still pushing that right-wing, alt-right type of vibe, and a lot of people are tuning in to this guy because he's saying what they want. He knows controversy sells. As a businessman, as a fighter, and a businessman, I applaud him going forward because, man, the guy is selling himself. Whether he has to pay for this in the long run, he'll have to backtrack saying that wasn't really me. That's later on in life. That's up on him. But, the first fight basically pitted, it was us versus them. You've seen Kamaru Usman, who is a first-generation American, the child of immigrants. His father and mother are from Nigeria. He's worked his way up, became a Division II NCAA wrestling champion against Colby, the clean-cut, braggadocious white guy, right-winger, willing to fight and, supposedly stand on America's core values, or a lot of the core values that, people with privilege choose to exacerbate. That fight was a very interesting fight. Take nothing away from Colby. The guy can fight. He's learned that with his wrestling as a Division I NCAA champ that he can apply pressure through striking. He understands striking. And he doesn't really have to worry about takedowns, because, he can out-wrestle any takedown pretty much. Kamaru, a Division II NCAA champ, also understands this. And their first fight was pretty much a unmentioned or unsaid gentleman agreement in which these guys were just going to have a striking match. This striking match saw Kamaru wind up breaking Colby's jaw in the 4th round, and in the 5th round, the fight was stopped after Colby was not properly defending himself. A lot of controversy created through Colby saying that there was it was an early stoppage and things of that nature, but this is going to settle it all. Now, my pick is Usman, of course. I'm not going to lie. I'm always going to go with my tribe. And Colby is a guy that I don't want to see win. I want to see him lose and then see what his excuse was. I really want to see Usman break his jaw. We'll see if that occurs. I'd be happy seeing it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Colby pulls it off. The guy's a pressure fighter. If he pressures with his striking and then mixes in takedowns more unsuspectingly, we'll see. But Usman is training with Trevor Whitman, who is one of the greatest striking coaches and fighting minds associated with UFC, and we'll see what Usman picks up and pulls off from there. I'm picking Usman for another win via broken jaw. With that said, the co-main event is headlined by Thug Rose, Nama Yunus versus Wally Zhang, another rematch. Now, this rematch is kind of tricky because you can't really apply MMA math or fighting math to it. The whole thing of this guy beats this guy, so he beats this guy. And this guy beats this guy because he beats this guy. Or this woman beats this woman because she beat this woman. That MMA totally debunks that type of theory. Thug Rose was this strawweight champ. She lost her strap to a woman by the name of Jessica Andrade, who is the boogie woman of her weight division. I mean, this woman, you don't want to fight her. Her name is the pile driver because she dunks you on their head and beats the shit out of women. And she, in their first encounter, Thug Rose, championship performance, highlighted beautiful striking, beat the brakes off of her pretty much until, she defended a takedown wrong. Andrade got the takedown or, a pile drive and dunked her on her head, knocked her out, took her belt. Following that, Jessica Andrade fought an up-and-comer by the name of Wally Zhang. Wally Zhang is the epitome of Chinese MMA. Whether it's woman or man fighting, she's got to go. I'm a fan of Wally Zhang. And she went out there, beat the shit out of Jessica Andrade, and took her belt in the first round. It was like 40 seconds maybe. It was a very fast fight. Took her belt. We're looking at Chun-Li here from Street Fighter. That's what Wally Zhang if Chun-Li was a real fighter, it'd be Wally Zhang. And she took her belt, and she's a very likable fighter. You can't help but root for her. Her next fight was against Rose. Rose then returned after successfully defeating the last person who beat her, who was Jessica Andrade. In a close fight, she won and earned a title fight against Wally Zhang. I don't believe the first fight between Thug Rose and Wally Zhang even lasted 1 minute. Thug Rose won via head kick, over fast, and Wally Zhang was awarded an immediate rematch. Although immediate in this terms of COVID is going to be about a year. So they're next up. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a die-hard Thug Rose fan. I have been since she was fighting in Invicta, throwing up flying arm bars. I mean, if you know her story, you can't help but be a fan. I mean, she was somebody who the UFC brought in as like the pretty archetype female fighter. She said, "Nah, I'm not pretty. I'm a fighter." Shaved her head. Said, "I'm not doing makeup. I'm not doing anything. I'm here to fight." I'm a farmer. I'm a first generation American who's here to fight, and from out of Lithuania, and she has repped hard, man. I mean, anybody who has questions regarding martial arts involved with mixed martial arts artists and mixed martial arts fights, go watch a Thug Rose fight. Go watch a Thug Rose interview. You will realize she's the epitome. She is the new breed of the martial arts. In a practical form of fighting. You can't help but like her. So, yes, I am biased, and I do want her to win. I won't lie. I root for Wally Zhang every fight, except for when she fights Thug. Like, I'm a huge Thug Rose fan, through what she's battled inside and outside of the ring. I mean, this is a woman that, as Americans, as fans of fighters, we should definitely get behind. We should definitely get behind both of these women. They're representing two different hemispheres of women's fighting. And in my opinion, I believe that fight may steal the show. But we'll see. We will see. Tune in, and I'll definitely do a reverb on this to see if I'm accurate with who's going to win. But I'm going with Kamaru and Thug Rose. Yeah. Be easy.